People from our community and across the world are reacting to the chilling 911 call that was released on Friday, more than 2 years after 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in their off-campus home. Thanks for being with us here tonight as we close out another weekend together. I'm Jordan Smith. 4 News Now was the first to break the release of this phone call on Friday, and we now know that it was one of the roommates who made the call at 11:55 a.m., nearly 8 hours after the murders took place. During that call, the surviving roommates, along with a friend, go to check on one of the victims who they thought was just unconscious. The families of Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, and Kaylee Goncalves were notified that this call would be released to the public. Our Hunter Bertram sat down with Kaylee's family, reporting tonight the message of compassion that they're trying to share.
For nearly 2.5 years, Steve Goncalves and his family have been searching for answers in the murder of their daughter, Kaylee, who was one of the 4 University of Idaho students killed in their off-campus home in November of 2022. For 27 months, much of this case has been shrouded in mystery. The 911 call released on Friday, filling in some of the blanks.
I think it provides a lot of evidence to the case. It provides a real timeline.
The phone call shows the fear and confusion from that morning. The surviving roommates repeatedly trying to get a hold of their friends before calling 911, believing they were just passed out.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up. Okay. Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night.
Steve Goncalves tells me listening to this call forces him to relive the trauma of that afternoon. His wife, Christy, he says, can't bring herself to hear it.
But I know the other families are going through the same thing. I mean, their hearts were racing, pounding, thinking, this was one of the worst nights, if not the worst night of their lives 2.5 years ago, and they have to relive it, and that's traumatizing. And
in the days following the call, Steve tells me he's disappointed by how the public has chosen to react to this significant development.
Said, just don't attack these girls in our family's name. Don't attack them ever. That's just so low class.
Some have blamed the surviving roommates for how they handled the situation, but Steve says that's completely unfair, instead commending them for not causing any more harm.
It could have been 10 times worse. Those girls could have let 4 or 5 more people through the door, could have got the wrong person who didn't have the ethic code that these kids had and start taking photos. They could be all over. There's all these families that are all victims to this thing, and there's only one person to blame.
Suspect Brian Koberger is facing 4 counts of first-degree murder. That trial expected to begin in August. I'm Hunter Bertram for News Now.